when we look at my captain build, you can see we went with the classic wargaming recommendation here. And with the modules, we went like this. The thing has an F key which has 70% reload, like a 70% reload booster, which is pretty good for 20 seconds. To activate it, you need to either receive potential damage or hit the enemy with main battery shells, 0.4% or 1%. Now it also has a heal. What I noticed, you also have of course a hydro, but what I noticed is the standard gun reload is pretty bad. However, this thing has actually ridiculously good armor for a cruiser. You have a icebreaker, which cannot be overmatched by any BB. Yes, you have 25 here, but this icebreaker cannot be overmatched. And you have strong enough side plating that you cannot really like get farmed by BBs that hard. Like if you show broadside, you can still get citadeled, but angled, you're actually really tough, a tough nut to crack, and I do like that a lot. However, you have to find with this ship, basically what you have to do is, you have to find the middle ground between playing it fairly aggressive because of limiting range and you want to trigger the reload booster, but not overextend too crazy either. You do have decent concealment for that, just over 10 kilometers, but again, your main gun range is also only 15.1, so you have to find a way to balance it out. When you can balance it out and you have like Dutch boats around you that are constantly missing their airstrikes, you will get the reload booster perma triggered and then the ship is kind of cracked. But you really need to, yeah, try to not eat the damage. And let's see now, we played it 3 games already to warm a bit up. I was very happy with one of the games. The first one was also not too bad, but the third one I threw, so let's see what we've learned from it. Okay, what do we have here? We have a CV in game, alright. Finally, a lot of cruisers. I do expect, since these are 2-3s, like when you have the chance to get on cruiser broadsides, that you will do quite some damage. But again, for that, you need to... you kind of like need to get in the situation. I didn't really have that. Usually we were like trading HE or sometimes some AP shots on higher ranges where you don't get sits anymore. So we'll see. Heal, by the way, has a long standard cooldown, so it's not a short cooldown, unfortunately. 40 seconds would be extremely nice with this game design, but we are up to 76, so you have to time it. I'm not complaining, because having it heal on a T8 is always good. There's a lot of T8s still without a heal, which should be honestly getting one at this point. But again, it's a good thing to have. And the way you get this ship, by the way, is it's going to be available in random battles for 1,500 doubloons per attempt, and comes with a default 3-point commander. Or you buy it directly in an Admiral pack for a whiffling amount of $80, which is a lot. That's crazy much. Honestly, Rhode Island cost 83, so if it comes to the Admiral pack, it's an easy pick. Like Rhode Island straight up better, honestly. Straight up the better bargain, the better buy. But if you get it in a random thing for 1,500 doubloons, why not? Okay, we have the Shino here. We are spotted. I tend to play it very aggressive with the ship. We need to watch out. Like, you're getting really cocky with that kind of armor, but at the same time, you also prey to DDs then. So we gotta be very careful. Now I need to make it to the island. Turning here is heavily disencouraging if you don't know what kind of BBs are waiting for you here. And we know there's at least one more DD that's not the Shino. So we need to keep that in mind. We know at least of one more ship that's around here. That's not the Shino spotting me. Probably here. Could also be here, but I'm 100% sure the other DD is on the outside here. And good that we didn't turn. There's a Vladivostok. Which would be an absolute nightmare to turn against, because he does have the gun pen to sit me. I would kind of hope for a push of him though. There's the torpedoes. It's the Jervis, you can see it. The way the torpedoes launched, we know it's Jervis. The torpedoes will also like trigger though my thingy here. Nice. Launching torpedo salvos is also very rewarding in this boat, because you will get your F key triggered quite fairly. And also keep in mind, I don't have them on it, but keep in mind you can also get Lisboa for this boat. Like, you can also use Lisboa on this, which we should actually try next game. I didn't think about it, to trigger the F key faster. And now, look at that reload booster. This is where the boat becomes like crazy. This is where the stuff becomes spicy AF. Can use the first seal, why not? The manly heavy cruiser, yeah. Go balls, eat deep, get rewarded. That's how we like it.
Concentrate fire on the designated target.
2 of 3s are decent to aim, the shells are not too slow, which is also very nice. And there we go. Nice kill.
Thank you.
We've sunk an enemy destroyer.
Thank you. Much obliged.
Alright. Oh. This could be fairly dangerous because Jervis could have gone for a snail on me, meaning like, or snake, like he launches a single line towards me. So we have to turn it away here, but we can side tank the Bloody without any problems. That's not the issue right now. He's gonna reverse, he's not gonna go forward unless he's suicidal. Yeah.
Enemy destroyer sunk.
If you
Torpedoes to port.
top down here, nice, now it's gonna be our torpedo belt.
Torpedoes to port.
But it looks good. And now we can start working on the Bloody Vostok
Torpedoes
here.
astern. Torpedoes to port.
Which probably DCP'd. See, that's the armor, what I mean. This thing is really durable if you angle it. And that's something you don't see really often on, I don't think there's any real tier 8 cruiser that's exceptionally durable besides this. Like, that's what this boat excels. It's like the most tanky tier 8 cruiser in the game now, pretty much. I mean, look at this. Casually just tanking that Bloody away. That is definitely one thing I like about it. Like, again, damage output might be not the best, because it depends on a lot of factors, but my man, the tanking capabilities of this ship, like the survivability, is pretty much unmatched. So, I like that a lot. It only starts to get worrisome if you have people on your flat broadside. Then they can of course sit you, but other than that, the armor belt is extremely strong. Of course, you also want to get trigger top right down there as soon as you can. Hence, might be even worth investing into Lighthouse at this point because of your survivability. Still have to play around with the captain a bit. Definitely the Spore on it is going to be crazy because we have always that 20% buff already. Ready, plus you're also faster. And you also get 5% faster main gun reload, not to be underestimated. Look at this, did you see that? That's crazy. That's something you don't see on tier 8 cruisers usually. It feels like finally you're not getting that oppressed by BB players, which is amazing. Of course, it's a very slim going around between bouncing and actually getting smashed, so keep that in mind.
Ship is on fire.
crazy how fast the reload, how good the armor is. Tier 8 cruiser, by the way, boys. Tier 8 cruiser. Oh, I whiffed that shot. I don't want that he gets another shot up there. Good.
Enemy battleship foundered.
In 1v1s, this thing is really good. If you don't fight something torpedo related. Yeah, I'm honestly like, I'm starting to like it more and more, this thing. It's just this tankiness. Like, your damage output, again, not the craziest thing, unless you really get like a broadsiding cruiser and you have the FQ ready or something. But the survivability is nuts. That's by far the most tanky cruiser on tier 8. By far. You can side tank pretty much any BB in the game. Most tier 8, 10 heavy cruisers can't even do that. Alright, we just hunt them through here. Damage, not the most impressive in this battle, but honestly, if you have it on the first try, instantly you see it for 1,500 doubloons. Heavy recommendation. Buying it for $80, no recommendation, way too expensive. And gun buying for it through random bundles, also not my recommendation, honestly. But if you tend to have it on the first try already, like it's instantly there, there is no way I cannot recommend the ship. This is actually hilarious. The people are really... They kind of not expect this tankiness, especially on a tier 8 ship. And again, we might play around with a lighthouse build to trigger top gunner earlier. Maybe heavy HC and so on to just buff the damage output a bit more, because that's the one lacking factor. And of course, putting this bow on it in is a straight up buff as well. Keep that in mind. Nah, it's only once. You can only do the missions once. When will it be released? Soon TM. Available in random battles for 1,500 doubloons. Per attempt with the full commander. Or in an admiral bag for $99. During the patch, I presume. There's no date in my file here for the ships, but I guess it's gonna be in a couple of days. Probably first day, yeah. We usually get them like 2-3 days in advance, and the NDA is off since yesterday for the ship. Of course, keep in mind, CVs will still be able to review. That's not an exception though. Even though the AA is okay, but that's a tier 6 TV and not a tier 8 one, to be fair. I do this thing still see, like, just like with any other tier 8 ship, I do see this thing still struggling though in tier 10 matchmaking, because your damage output is very lackluster. You will still be able to tank the tier 10 BBs as well, which is crazy, honestly, for tier 8 cruiser. But yeah, the damage output is not gonna be really there. Although then again, if you fight a lot of light cruisers or cruisers in general, 203s, so more than good enough to Citadel, in all fairness. There we go. Ending with the 4th kill on the CV as well. 16 planes shot down, 4 kills, 78k damage. Just pushing it through pretty much. I like it. I like it a lot. I start to like this really a lot. First in the team. Not a bad boat. The tankiness is insane. The rest, okay. But the tankiness is absolutely insane. Love that. Like, finally not getting humped by a BB for free is actually a good feeling for a cruiser. So, it gets my recommended badge if you can get it instantly. Otherwise, for the price I mentioned, I think it's too expensive and you should skip it. But if you have the chance to get it rather cheap here, then definitely recommend it.
Bosco 109 just resubbed for 4 months.